Hello everyone, it's Foo here, back for another Why You Should Use, and today we will be looking at Flapple, one of the Apple Pokemon that are available in Sword and Shield. This one is particularly Flappy. He's really cool, really enjoy this Pokemon. It's got so many weird mechanics and sets that you can use, so the movesets in this video are very interesting. Stay tuned for that, but over on John's channel,
we're going to be looking at Flapple's Rotom sibling, Appleton. Both of these Pokemon are incredibly cool, very unique. I'm excited to talk about it, but before we can talk about that guy, it's all about the Flappy Apple Flapple, and this is the Apple Wing Pokemon, something I never expected to see. I cannot, I still can't believe this thing is real in the best of ways. It's such a cool idea, very, very unique, and it's actually a lot better than I expected. The number one thing that allows this Pokemon to stand out is the ability Hustle, which is a very powerful ability that the damage from physical attacks is increased by 50%, but it does make the average accuracy of all of the moves used 80%, so there is a drop off, but with 110 attacks, stab moves, and Hustle, Flapple is actually going to be hitting incredibly hard, which is very, very hilarious and also really, really cool. It's a Grass Dragon type, a really, really cool typing offensively. It does have that really scary 4x weakness to ice, so that's something to watch out for. A lot of scary ice Pokemon in this generation too, but it's an Apple Dragon. You're gonna have to take the good with the bad. Looking over at the stats, that 110 attack, obviously, as we talked about, that stands out the most. Everything else is pretty decent. Nothing really too bad. Nothing that's really too great. It is nice that it has at least 70 speed. I didn't really know what to expect there. Obviously, that's not great, but it's at least usable.
considering Flapple's attacking moves, it has a great move in Grab Apple. This is a signature move, drops an apple on the opposing Pokemon's head, and it's a good base 80 power, but it also drops the opposing Pokemon's defense stat, meaning that your next Grab Apple will do even more damage, and this is a great way of breaking down walls and just busting through Pokemon that would otherwise cause you problems. It does have very nice high power Dragon Stab as well in Outrage, or alternatively the very shaky accuracy Dragon Rush, which you'll almost always miss if you're running Hustle too. It's got some flying type coverage, which is nice to be able to hit some grass types. So you've got Fly, which is locks you in, so not ideal. Acrobatics you can't hold an item for. Does have priority and Sucker Punch. U-turn is really nice to keep some momentum up, and actually it does have some nice special moves too, because this thing does have a usable special attack stat. Draco will always hit hard, very high base power. Energy Ball as well, and Air Slash, again basically just mirroring the coverage it has on the physical side. In terms of setup, it gets Dragon Dance, which is great with that really nice attack stat and the Hustle ability, and then Growth, probably not as useful, but boosting both attack and special attack might be situationally what you want. And also Iron Defense, though this Pokemon isn't really a defensive Pokemon, so you won't see that one as much. In terms of utility, you can go for Focus Energy, but definitely not the best way to set this Pokemon up, and equally Sunny Day isn't the best option here. But Recycle is really nice because of its Ripen and Gluttony abilities. So Ripen doubling the effects of berries, and Gluttony eating berries earlier, means that berry sets are very much an option for this Pokemon, and recycling those berries can really put those abilities to the best of their use. We also have to consider that this Pokemon has a Gigantamax form. So when it gets super big, it gets this unique form and gets a unique move too, which is GMAX Tartness. So instead of going for the usual Dynamax Grass move, what you get is this grass move that actually, instead of setting up grassy terrain, reduces the evasion of the opposing Pokemon. And that's pretty nice. Reducing evasion normally isn't a big deal, but that's really nice because this thing has the Hustle ability. You're going to miss some. If you reduce the opponent's evasion, they can't dodge your attacks, and therefore you get the Hustle damage boost without the Hustle accuracy drop, which is really cool. It's a really nice synergy that I see there, and actually it's one of my favorite Gigantamax moves because of that synergy. I'm all about mechanics and them working together, and I think that that's really elegant.
Moving into the sets Flapple can run, we have an incredibly cool set here that I'm absolutely in love with. The fact that this thing gets both Hustle and Dragon Dance is incredible. It's going to be hitting Pokemon unbelievably hard. Obviously, you will be missing moves a lot, but a really cool new thing this generation is a brand new item called Blunder Policy. This item, when held, boosts a Pokemon's speed by 2 stages if a move that it uses misses due to its accuracy. So you can actually run that item with Hustle, and even if you aren't setting up, you most likely are going to miss a move, get that speed boost, and then you can Gigantamax up, get that move that Flapple's going to get with the Gigantamax form, GMAX tartness, reduce opponents' evasiveness, and then you won't be missing moves as much, and you're going to be doing so much damage, which is just incredible. Obviously, you're going to want to have max attack, max speed, so 252 in both of those. Jolly Nature's this speed is really not incredible. That's 70 base speed. It's completely average, so investing as much as you possibly can there would be great. Looking at the moves, you really have to make some decisions. With Dragon Rush, you can make sure that you're going to miss if you do want to run Blunder Policy, but if you want to run Outrage, get more damage off and something a little bit more reliable, you have the Lumberry, so once you do get confused, you will be healed, which will be really, really nice. Grab Apple is a must on this set, and then with Fly and Acrobatics, neither are really great. Acrobatics is a lot less reliable as you don't know when either of those items are going to be used, but if you are running Blunder Policy, Acrobatics most likely will work, as you're probably going to miss a Dragon Rush. But with Fly, it's going to do more damage. Still has a chance to miss. It will lock you in, but it's kind of necessary coverage. So I really love this set. There's a lot of flaws within it, but it's super cool and so much fun.
The next set is a bit more simple. We're not playing around with too many of those interesting mechanics, so we're just going for a choiced set. I think this thing stands a great chance of being a good choice user. So you can either go Choice Band or Choice Scarf. One to boost the power and one to boost the speed. I think Choice Band is generally the better option here because you're already hitting really hard with that Hustle ability, and Band makes that go even further. You'll be doing so much damage. But if you do want to outspeed stuff, you'll still be hitting hard, but the Choice Scarf allows you to outspeed more things. So we're going max attack and max speed here, and with a Jolly Nature, you do need to be as fast as possible. Even with a Choice Scarf, you need the Jolly Nature because it's not the fastest Choice Scarf user. And then the moves, you definitely want Grab Apple. That's great for breaking through opponents, dropping their defense, just continuing to go for that Grab Apple, and you'll get through them eventually. You've got Outrage here for the maximum damage possible. It's such a high base power, and with the Hustle boost and a Choice Band boost, it's so good. And then Sucker Punch is an option here for priority, which is pretty nice, rather than the flying type moves we talked about previously, because Acrobatics is not great, or it's not usable when you're holding a choice item, and Fly, being locked into Fly, is really not ideal at all. So here I think Sucker Punch is better, especially on the Choice Band set, because it just guarantees that you're going to get some damage off on a faster opponent. And the last move here is U-turn, which is great. You can hit opposing grass types quite hard with this, you keep momentum up, and just a really nice thing to plop on a Choice Band set. So I think this guy makes a really good Choice Band user.
Next up, we have a set that I'm contractually obligated to talk about, and that is a Choice Spec set. Now, Flapple is not the best specially offensive Pokemon, but it does have a usable special attack stat and Draco Meteor, and those two things together, it's never something to gloss over. It's definitely going to be a bunch of fun. Dropping Draco Meteors, I mean, everybody loves to do it, especially with a small apple. You're going to be able to get some kills. It's going to be very, very satisfying. Beyond Draco Meteor, you know, you have Energy Ball, Air Slash for some decent coverage, and then U-turn. That's going to be really important because this set, you're either dropping a Draco Meteor or you're U-turning. You're almost never going to be clicking the other two, as they're probably not going to be the best ideas. You want that max modest nature, max special attack, choice specs, Draco, or get yourself out of there, because Flapple does not want to get decimated.
The last set we're going to look at is another really fun one that's putting Flapple's ability to use, but this time it's not Hustle, it's actually Ripen. So what Ripen does is double the effect of berries. Flapple doesn't get access to reliable recovery like Appleton. That gets recover, whereas Flapple doesn't. But what Flapple can do is hold the Citrus Berry and have the Ripen ability, so when you're below 50%, the Citrus Berry will restore 50% rather than 25%, so that's pretty much like recover, and then you can run recycle, and that effectively gives you reliable recovery, so that's fantastic. With this set, it's actually going to be a Leech Seed sub-seed set, so you can stall out opponents with Leech Seed here. You've got max HP, max speed. You need as much speed as possible to make sure you can get the substitutes off, get the Leech Seeds off, and the opponents won't be able to break through. And the last move on this set is going to be Dragon Pulse. Just a really nice stab dragon type right move to go for. It's physical Dragon Stab is not that reliable. You either have to go for Outrage, which obviously isn't great on a set like this because it locks you in and confuses you, and Dragon Rush misses. So much more reliable to go for Dragon Pulse, even if it is a little bit weaker. Then all you have to do is switch in on something that doesn't like going against Flapple. They'll switch out, you can get your substitute up, throw some Leech Seeds on the opponent, and then like substitute, Dragon Pulse, whatever you need to do, recycle when you're getting low, and this thing can stall out some opponents, which is a really different way to use Flapple, but I think it's a really nice way to show off that Ripen ability, synergizing with recycle and giving it some really good recovery there. So that's pretty cool.
The final thing we have to talk about is doubles, and while I don't think Flapple is going to be an incredible doubles Pokemon, it definitely has some pretty interesting things and a really cool partner idea that I'm excited to share with you guys. So Leech Seed's always going to be good on this Pokemon. Leech Seed, Recycle, there are some really annoying shenanigans that you can get up to with this Pokemon. Acid Spray and Grab Apple are going to be really solid moves just to kind of harass your opponents. Acid Spray a little bit more, harassing, and Grab Apple is just going to be a really solid offensive move for Flapple. This could also be your Dragon Dance user. You could, have this thing set up and other things kind of harass the opponents or, follow me, and we'll get to that in a second, but it's probably not going to be the best setup sweeper, but if you do get lucky, Hustle, Dragon Dance, you could really start obliterating things. So I think it could surprise you and also your opponent. So for that reason, Hustle is going to be the best ability. I really think Hustle is what makes this Pokemon elite at anything, just because it's so powerful with that. Stab moves, Dragon Dance, put them all together, and it gets really, really scary. But when we look at the partner ideas, Fighting and Fire Pokemon are going to be really, really nice to take on the Ice and Steel Pokemon that Flapple's going to struggle with. Fake Out and Follow Me, as we talked about, for when this thing wants to Dragon Dance and try to destroy things. But the best partner is Gigantamax Orbeetle, as Gigantamax Orbeetle's GMAX move is Gravitas, and it's a Psychic type attack that sets up Gravity for 5 turns, which is incredible as you will be missing so much less. You get a Dragon Dance up, you got Hustle, you got that attack stat, and all of a sudden you are just obliterating foes with Grass moves and Dragon moves. And that's pretty much it because it doesn't have the best coverage, but it's still going to be great. It's still going to be awesome, and you have to try that combo out.
So that's our take on Flapple, the grass dragon that's just trying so hard. You can see how hard he's trying by trying to keep airborne. It's a bit of a struggle, but I really like this thing. I think it's got so much potential for weird and wacky sets, and that's what I'm all about. What I'm also all about is John's video all about Appleton. Appleton is very different to Flapple, so definitely check that out. Basically, the only thing they share is a pre-evolution and a typing. So it's very different. You need to check that out. All that's left to be said is I've been Foo, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.